All ready for this?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
What are you expecting?
Oh, it feels like holiday. Everybody's so relaxed, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sunrise this morning, and I'm just going to enjoy it.
And how does one approach day one?
I don't know, I guess cautiously. See what the racing's like, see what the terrain's like, and so, yeah, we'll take day by day.
I'm really looking forward to it. It sounds like the guys have laid out an awesome route and there's going to be some beautiful scenery. It's obviously going to be hard racing and we won't see too much of that. But I'm really looking forward to the partnership with Henriette, and I think we're going to have a good 4 days of racing.
Henriette hasn't got a heck of a lot of experience in this type of racing yet. Are you going to be guiding, or are you holding on to that back wheel?
I think the tar sections I'll be holding on to back pocket and yeah, hopefully give some guidance in the single track.
What do you feel like with all your years and years of racing, this is venturing into new area?
Yeah, I thought it would end at the August, but here I am again once again. So hopefully I just wanted some patience calls this morning, and yeah, I hope I can keep up, eh? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it this morning?
Yeah, definitely. I think with the new event on the calendar, obviously nobody quite knows what to expect, but with regarding to all the social media and the mails and everything that we received beforehand, I think it's going to be a great event.
We're very excited to get this whole thing going. I think being PE local boys, you know, it's going to be a nice event for us, and it's good to see a multi-stage race come to PE. You know, it's very exciting times. So yeah, obviously nervous as well. Yeah.
And the fact that you are PE lads, is there extra pressure?
Yeah, there's some pressure on us. I mean, we've been doing well lately, so a lot of fans support on the road for us, shouting us, getting us going. So yeah, hopefully they'll get us through the 4 days.
360 kilometers worth of racing, 4 days and 400 different winners. That's what the inaugural Investec Pe Plett race is all about. Hello everyone, I'm Arnold Getz, and this is at the start in Port Elizabeth. In 88 kilometers we'll finish at the Gamtus River. That is going to be the first big test on day one.
.400 riders left the pier under a controlled start on the first part of their long journey to Plettenberg Bay.
Still very much deep in the city of Port Elizabeth, but already early on, the race started featuring some really technical sections, like this one.
The concrete jungle of Port Elizabeth revealed a hidden gem called Settlers Park as the riders made their way to the first big hill climb of the race, Ziggy Zig Zag.
got a wonderful view. So yeah, let's just keep pushing. It's early days.
The Investec Rhino Lifeline spectator point drew a big crowd to support the riders on their first tricky downhill. With PE fading in the background, it was time to really get the wheels churning with some flat track stuff before a time section at the Red Bull downhill run. The Eastern Cape delivered in the weather department on day one, and Investec certainly delivered at the first watering point some 30 kilometers into the ride.
This is the watering hole at Royalston. Now look at the spread. Back there, the drinks. Then, oranges, bananas, pretzels, raisins, eggs. If you're really worried about your appearance, believe it or not, you can have a little dab of the forehead and get rid of most of the perspiration. Some brownies, potatoes, which have been extremely popular, some more pretzels, more raisins, and then here's the good stuff. This is really the good stuff. And you know what they say is the best part of the donut? Eat the hole in the middle.
First to arrive at the watering point was Team Contigo giant. Gert Heinz had just enough time for a quick splash and dash.
Why go for the potatoes?
Because it's high in carbohydrate, it tastes nice, and they're lekker. Thank you.
What's the race been like so far?
Fantastic. Nice fruit, yes, very nice. Sydney can only get better from here.
Okay, guys, once again, take time. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Now we're talking. Thanks.
Some spectacular riding, and the food's good.
I was just going to say that. What a spread that is. How do you decide what to have?
Well, it's really hard, but you just pick the sweetest thing. We're not going to be able to lose weight, and we're going to put on, but we're going to have fun.
Enjoy, don't put on too much.
Later.
After the brief respite at Royalston, Maitland's Mine had a surprise up its sleeve. A little hill called Huff Puff, with Team Contigo powering their way all the way to the top.
This is like flat, man. Truck house.
That's a nice little hill lake. It's all hot track gang of it. Pretty though, actually. Yeah, the sea views couldn't be prettier. I want to know what the rugby score is though.
It's not as easy as it looks. The problem with the Huff Puff is, for the longest time, that was being a local, one of our secret training hills. Now everybody knows about it. Oh well, just gotta spread the love, eh? Awesome. Cheers, guys.
Right here.
Huff Puff, as I am now, but it was serious uphill. Good exercise.
Time now for some speed as the riders crested Huff Puff and then started the long descent to Rocky Horror. Indeed, Rocky Horror lived up to its name, rocky and full of horror.
Just a little stumble. First fall, it's a record for me.
Hier ga ik mijn gat zien. Zee!
This is just on the other side of Blue Horizon Bay. The riders are just over that hill, and we found the start of a wind farm. They've been calling Port Elizabeth the Windy City for forever. It's taken them forever to work out that this would be the ideal place to have a wind farm. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Team Contigo was still pushing the pace up front, looking strong as they headed toward the Woodridge water point at Yellowwoods. The going was not easy as the field persevered with the challenging terrain. To ride in this area was a privilege for the 400 warriors. It should almost be illegal.
"62 kilometers done, 26 to go to the finish." This is right here, almost in the middle of nowhere. It's the Yellowwood Farm. And here is where the Woodridge boys and girls are doing their thing as well at the water point. It's a very welcome water point because they've done some very hard riding through some very sandy patches. Beautiful cold drinks, and again, a spread that would make a king envious.
It's a bit harder than I thought, but it's very rewarding. I mean, it's just beautiful, in and out of the sand, up and down. Fantastic ride.
The MTBers thought they'd left Rocky Horror behind them, but perhaps they hadn't. With Gamtoos and the first overnight stop in sight, Team Contigo manhandled Devil's Staircase, the last downhill before the day one finish. The two men up front had built a huge margin, so much so that they could relax all the way to the finish line. The rest of the riders could just spot Gamtus in the distance, but for them it looked closer than what it really was, and they too still had to navigate Devil's Staircase before they could park their bikes, hang up their helmets for the night, and take a load off.
It's been bloody tough. Clearly not enough training, especially not enough hill training. But the end has been really good. I wish I'd been fitter to enjoy it more. When I get there, I've got a frosty in my hand, everything will be absolutely cool. So it'll be good. And then a nice massage, looking forward to tomorrow.
I'm in the massage area, and most of the guys here have got their legs and back massaged at times, but I used my voice a lot today, so I thought it's only fair. Yeah, that's the spot there. Oh, yeah, thank you.
What was the ride like?
It was awesome, thank you.
Everyone's saying it was extremely hard out there.
No, it was a tough course, but the wind played a factor, so maybe the guys that came in a little bit later, the wind was a bigger factor for them. But the course was great, yeah, just a good one.
I think the best was when we got over the hill over here and we could see the tents. The worst was that we had to go down that massive hill. But we had some ladies chasing us, so we put in a big effort at the end.
With the bike park filling up and the daily cleaning routine well underway, the cycle park villagers got settled in for the night and could only speculate about what day 2 would hold for them. Day 2 was a picture-perfect day again. Blue skies, no clouds, no wind, a mountain biker's dream after day 1.
So, after a long, hard day yesterday, ready for today?
Yes, ready. I think we had some bad luck yesterday. Punched about 1k from the start.
Oh.
So we were stone last, and then we managed to work our way up to 20th place, so we're happy. Great. Yeah, I'm still feeling a little bit flat. I think when I woke up this morning, I felt yesterday was a tough day for me, but I'm just glad that I managed to pull through, and we got another 3 days to fight, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I just think try ride without any technical issues and just get to the end. Probably save ourselves just in case there's a bit of a headwind.
You're already causing chaos.
Yesterday was a tough day.
It's a mountain bike race, guys, not a motorbike
leading
race.
at one stage,
Well, you guys saw that the burn out to the bike counter last
wait
night.
10-15 minutes, got back, and managed to end up 6 at the end. And hoping to make up some time back today.
Great day yesterday, tell us about it.
Yeah, yesterday was a hard day, very long day, rough terrain, and we went early and managed to just stay in front all the way, and yeah, good lead now. Not a big lead, but looking forward to the rest of the race.
Timo, it didn't quite work out yesterday with Kevin. How far did you go before Kevin said that he can't carry on?
We went to the first water point, but I think racing-wise, probably about 6-7 Ks, and it's just closed up. I know he's a tough guy, but he's got a long season ahead of him and just couldn't pull it through, but that stuff happens, and I'm just here to enjoy myself and perfect day, nice riding, so.
It's the start of day 2. The finish is 103 kilometers away. They're expecting a really rough ride again, and everyone is predicting a lot of headwind too on top of it all. However, day 2 of the Investec Pe Plett is about to start. The village is just about broken down. It's time to race.
7 a.m., day 2 was underway. A relaxed neutral zone greeted the riders before crossing the old narrow gauge rail bridge over the Gamtoos River, a suggested portage for the safety of the riders. Soon after the safety bridge crossing, the riders had to get their feet wet and cross the Gamtoos River. The wet feet dried out quickly as the riders took a steady climb up Never Ender, which again lived up to its name. It never ended. May just as well have called it Everest. Tipped down into the valley of the Misgend ruins, it was time for some high-speed gravel riding. This roller coaster was going down, but that only meant it had to go up again. Top of this pass, one of the many Investec appreciation points. Absolutely awesome.
Seems like gravity works a bit harder in the Eastern Cape, man. So we're just going to keep riding west and see if it lightens up. But it's very beautiful out here. Great time.
Here at the first watering point after 1 hour and 27 minutes worth of racing. There is very little to choose between the top riders. The 3 top teams all grouped together. 33 Ks into the watering point. It's a matter of stop, grab your drink and go. Then some of the other riders decide to just shoot straight past and go as they go. Here and a little bit further back, it seems like this water point may be one of the key moments on day 2. How are you going at the moment?
Oh, it's been brilliant.
Is it?
Absolutely awesome. It's fast.
Yeah.
Almost no wind. And it was a lovely ride coming in. Brilliant.
How
Brilliant
many
morning.
water points do you get that look like this?
Well, this is the first one today. Thanks.
Oh, no, lovely. It's actually been excellent. I feel much better today than I did yesterday.
So legs have recovered?
Yeah, legs have recovered. Pull that one too, please. Yeah, legs have recovered much better than yesterday. enjoying it. I think it's still going to be long and tough way in the sand.
Local MTB enthusiast and resident farmer Arthur Hubert had the bikers tackle his very own Swat River flyover.
The second water point here at St. Francis Links, and again the top three teams absolutely together. Not much to choose from. However, it seems like the Coimbra lads have got stuck in, and the Bridge lads at the same time have lost one of their riders. That may be quite important in the end, but the overnight leaders now loading up on stock and making sure that they've got something in the tank for the last 25 odd kilometers. So you set off yesterday, and how did things go?
It was good, but I had to call it quits. I got a knee injury, so to just prevent it from getting any worse, I just decided to take a back seat and rather second than actually take part.
How heartbreaking is it to be part of a race one moment and the next moment you're a spectator?
It's so horrible. Hate it. But it's cool. I mean, it's still part of the vibes, taking in the atmosphere. So yeah, good to be here.
A picturesque Oyster Bay was next up for the riders, but standing in their way was the Eskom Conservancy roller coaster, which was memorable to say the least. Not too many views like this in the world of mountain biking. The Brockerdine farm was prepped and ready with the village all set up for the second stopover for our intrepid explorers. Team Contigo and Team Coimbra jostled for the lead, but Contigo cleared the muddy section ahead of Coimbra, and it was downhill to take a second win. As the day wore on, the rest of the battle-weary field descended Blue Pipe Hill to the long-awaited finish on Klipdrift Hill.
Henriette, I can't ever recall seeing you this tired at the end of a stage.
I think I'm back. I'm back on the road next week.
Is mountain biking that much harder?
I'll give it to you.
Awesome. No more.
Yes. I can't remember being this tired in a long time.
5 hours of racing.
I must say, when we hit St. Francis Bay, I mean, that place is amazing. That Oyster Bay was just the most beautiful view you've ever seen in your whole life. We actually stopped on the top and we just had a bit of a look, so we're really having a nice time and enjoying the race.
It wasn't only the bikes that got a lube and a wash.
Morning, guys.
The second night brought a brief freak storm which left the roads wet and rather slippery. The riders were given a 9 a.m. start on day 3, time to ponder the day ahead, and some extra time for the final spit and polish for some of the bikes.
Oh, it's been awesome. We've just had a nice, good, steady pace ride. It's been absolutely awesome.
It's a bit wet last night, but other than that, accommodation pretty good. Unfortunately, my partner went home, so I had more room than normal. So that made life a little bit easier.
But if you're not made for this is very hard. I mean, I'm only finished my second day now, and now it's day 3, and I think I like suffering. And one thing I like is to see that everybody suffers with me. You know, you're not alone all the time, but it's a lot of fun, but it's really hard. It's really hard.
After yesterday, it was really a very long and hard day. Then the bad weather came, all 4 seasons in one day. Today, they're hoping that the wind will be at their backs all the way to the finish at Storms River. But somehow, we doubt that.
Day 3 was racing from the word go, no neutral zone on the 3rd consecutive day of hard racing. The fast flat road allowed for a good warm-up and easy pace with the peloton sticking together. What a place to race. As they headed through the magnificent dairy farms, the riders were treated to some 50 shades of green.
The largest peloton so far during the 2013 inaugural race in the Investec PE to Plett. And the peloton certainly grouped together here 20 kilometers into day 3, stage 3 being led again by the men in the Contigo gear. And they certainly are taking the race by the scruff of the neck at the moment, as they have done throughout each one of the stages so far.
Leaving hundreds of shade of green behind them, the downhill into Kearns Valley was enjoyed by everyone. The climb out was a different story. It was hard work.
That doesn't look so nice, but it is.
This is quite different. It's a bit of a change to the wind. I think we need a little bit more of this, just to break the spirit of that wind. Hell of a climb.
About 15-20 minutes ago, he told me to look left when they're going through the tree line, and saw the riders coming up here, but now we're here, so let's move on.
Kom, voeta. Woo, jy lyk lewendig, man.
That was murderous. Downhill was fantastic though. But yeah, let's push on.
Baie rof. Pretoria het nie sulke wilte nie. Ook hier die Vrystaat.
Through the Cape Pine forests, the riders enjoyed a mixed bag of jeep track that took them to the breathtaking cliff top of Robberhoek. The Storms River village was ready and waiting as the first riders took their third stage victory. Once again, Team Contigo took the win, followed closely by the first women, Team Red Cherries, Robin de Groot and Eshen Stopforth.
Today wasn't as hard as the previous days because it started out easier with a big group, and only towards the end it started to pick up the pace. So yeah, it was good.
Got two proper downhill, got away with Coimbra, and Timo was in there as well. And that's from there, well, we were pretty much forced to run the front, so yeah, to our benefit.
Meanwhile, the balance of the field were heading down towards the old Storms River Bridge and then into the last climb before they hit the finish line at the Storms River Village for the last night of the race. At every night's riders' briefing, a Spirit of the Day prize was awarded to one team. They then won a luxury tented experience courtesy of Temper, where they were pampered and treated to the best night's sleep they could hope for their tired bodies and minds.
Delighted it's the last day, but I heard about the extra 9K, so I'm just recalibrating.
It's been awesome, absolutely awesome. We're amateurs, but it's been long day on the bike. But the scenery, the course is really fantastic. And we'll be back to do it the other way around next year, because then we'll have the wind behind us.
It's been fantastic. Lots of wind, lots of hard grind, but great. Super routes, super scenery.
Everybody is saying that it was harder than they thought it would be. Was it like that for you?
Definitely, those long days, you know, it really still 100 k's is a long way.
Luckily today is a short one.
A shorter one and some technical, which will be fun.
Very technical
The otter
today.
is going to be stunning.
It's the final day of the Investec Pe Plett. Behind me, almost 200 teams ready to hit the last stage of just less than 80 k's. Today they hit one of the iconic trails in Africa, the Otter Trail. It's time to race on the final day.
The neutral zone this time took the riders through a very sleepy Storms River village and then up and into Yellowwood Alley. Saving the best riding for the last day, superb forest riding. The route took the riders under the N2 and onto the old Blowkrans Pass. The leading peloton emerged at the summit and finally into the Western Cape. With Nature's Valley in the distance and the legendary Otter Trail awaiting the riders.
There were some amazing photo opportunities on top of the pig's head there. This is stunning.
See,
this
is amazing. Is the life, you see?
At the top of one of the biggest climbs of the day, the Contigo lads one more time, breakaway and on their way. If we take a time gap on it, after 1 hour, 54 minutes and 47 seconds of riding, again, a huge gap. They look to have things completely sewn up on day 4 of the Investec Pe Plett race.
No, Nature's Valley has always been a pretty place, eh? But put new respect for that hill. It's a big one.
There's nothing about sharing your banana with your teammate on top of Nature's Valley.
Cheers, banana.
Cheers, banana.
Salt River was a spectacular portage, with the riders enjoying a brief cold dip before the last pull to the finish in Plettenberg Bay. The race was the brainchild of Mike Glover.
Some 10 months ago, flying through this coastline from Plettenberg Bay to Port Elizabeth, I thought, what about creating a 4-day stage race from Port Elizabeth to Plettenberg Bay? The dream became a reality, but with that became many, many challenges. In fact, we had 23 vehicles en route, 8-ton trucks, luggage boxes, mattresses, 500 mattresses, tented villages for 400 people over 4 days. It was just a manic undertaking. After 2 months, we had 400 people signed up for this race, purely because what lay between these two magnificent towns. But I think it is the most magnificent piece of real estate in the world, and who wouldn't want to ride a mountain bike here? And with the route reversing next year, starting in Plett and finishing Port Elizabeth with a big southwesterly, it should even be more popular.
After 4 days and 368 kilometers, the main beach at Plett welcomed the winners, all 400 of them.
Today was just fantastic to ride little bits of the Otter Trail, to do some of the single track, to have the vistas and the views we had today, and then obviously to finish down here in the most glorious conditions, the most beautiful weather in the heart of Plettenberg Bay on this pristine South African coastline. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Today's scenery was unbelievable, so
4 days,
yeah, it was good. Pretty
3
tough.
nights.
I would highly recommend it. In fact, so much so, I would think that there's a serious international market that will ultimately find out about this race, that will hear about it, will hear about the beauty and the pristine riding conditions and the views and this gorgeous coastline. And I think we'll have a lot of foreigners that will come and do it in the future.
I think it's brilliant. We will be definitely back next year. Yeah, it's great because we're living in this area, so we'll definitely support it again.
No, I laughed.
You laughed?
That's nice. What are partners for? I said, are you all right? He said, yes, I laughed. 2 microdollars and a teaspoon of cement.
The podium for the mixed teams. Third place went to husband and wife team Brian and Lisa Bontekoring. Second, locals Michelle Reed and Carl Bradford. And topping the podium in a total race time of 20 hours and 8 seconds, Jade Miller and Andrea Holt. In the women's category, top honours went to Team Red Cherries Robin de Groot and Ishan Stopforth in a time of 18 hours, 8 minutes and 4 seconds. Second was the team of Yolanda Speedy and Henriette Skuman riding for Power Soul. And for the overall winners, in third place, the Avis van rental team of Rob Dormel and Francois de Villiers. Second, the Coimbra Cycles duo of Francois Geldenes and Conrad Viljoen. And in a winning time of 16 hours, 10 minutes and 19 seconds, the 2013 Investec PE Plett champions, Louis Bresler Knipper and Gert Heinz, making sponsors Contigo Giant very happy. well after the winners had finished, and with a time of more than 24 hours, Judith Leroux, Juliet Willem, Alistair Reed and Ian Forbes, who rode in sports shoes and not cleats, finished and were the last winners of the day. I'm Arnold Gert saying thanks for watching. We'll see you in 2014 for Plett to PE.